Generally with river fishing, you want a boat that's very loose and maneuverable. And you want that because if you can think about it, when you're heading downstream, there's a lot of obstacles in the way, a lot of rocks or maybe a fallen tree. You want to be able to take one or two quick paddle strokes back or forward and have that boat turn, so then you can now start moving forward away from that obstacle. So the way that a river fishing boat is made to be maneuverable is by the hull design and the length, a little bit shorter. So let's go take a look at the hull. Alright, so on the hull, especially here in the bow, we've talked about rocker, the word rocker, and what that rocker basically means is, think about it like this. If you put a 2x4 on the surface of the water, right, and you take your hand, you put it right in the middle of that 2x4, and it's completely flat as a board, 2x4, board, whatever. So take your hand and spin that board on the water. It's going to be kind of hard to spin because that entire board is flat and all the friction from that water is hitting it, right? Now, think about that board shaped like a banana, right? The ends of the board are going up, so really you don't have a lot of board in the water. So now take your hand, put it in the middle, and spin. Now you can imagine in your head, okay, yeah, that's going to be a lot easier to spin. That's rocker. On the front and the back of the boat kind of comes up a little bit out, allows you to make, when you make a paddle stroke, to spin a lot easier to avoid those obstacles like we talked about. Another thing you're going to want to talk about here is the knuckle of the boat. This is what we call the knuckle, right here on the front. And the knuckle in some boats digs in deeper and is very sharp and cuts very hard. A boat like this, it's very blunt, and that's going to be really good for, you know, busting through waves, and barely sticks in the water at all. Whenever you make that hard turn, it's going to come out of the water and not catch a lot of water, again freeing you up to make those maneuvers that you need. Alright, so let's talk about the length when selecting a good moving water kayak. Generally, and this is just a general rule, 10 foot to 12 foot is about the right length for river fishing. Now, if you're fishing a huge river or you need to go a really long distance and it's a flat water river without big rapids, you could certainly go, 13, 14 foot. And if you're fishing a more whitewater river that has lots of rapids, you could even go, 9 foot or enter the 10 foot range. But in general, 10 to 12 foot is what we use. I also like to see a flat hull on a river fishing kayak because that way it's going to help you turn a little bit better. You don't want something that has a lot of crazy contours going on the design, or it's just going to hurt your ability to maneuver. Okay, and the last thing to really consider on a good moving water kayak is going to be just the general width of the kayak. I prefer one that's around the 31 to 32 inch range, maybe a little bit wider than that. You could go as low as like 30 or 29, but again, it's all about your comfort level. Everyone's going to be a little bit different, but make sure it's stable enough because you are going to be moving in and out of rapids and eddies and things like that, and a little bit extra stability never hurts.